what a great night it's going to be, and it has been a great night indeed. Baton Rouge is a regular stop on the Mississippi River Commission's inspection tours. We do 2 tours, 2 trips each year during high water and low water. And we stop in Baton Rouge often. And I have run by this building a number of times as we're docked, and I've never had a chance to come inside. And it's just incredible. Thank you for bringing not only this group to this venue, but also how you've integrated arts. What a beautiful poem. It's incredible. Very, very big shoes to fill here as I try to give you a brief message about the Corps of Engineers and how we can better partner together for the strength and the power of this river. I started my journey today in New Orleans. So it's just fascinating to me that in a period of 10 days, we were preparing for the landfall of Hurricane Francine, and tonight we are together without delay having this wonderful dinner. And that is just a testament to the resiliency and the power of mayors, of states, of public servants throughout, of citizens, industry banding together to not only mitigate these risks, but also in the response efforts afterward. And so just a very powerful day for each of us. Last Friday, I had an opportunity to meet the mayor and attend one of the Louisiana's UCG meetings, which is their governmental meeting, to talk about the transition from the response to recovery in Louisiana. And I met the TAG, the Louisiana National Guard, just incredible heroes. And we had a chance to overfly the communities most impacted. And we landed, we talked. I saw in the eyes of the communities, eyes that you see all the time that are dealing with issues, local issues all the time, had been up all night watching to see where the storm would go and wondering what the next day would bring. Many without power, but there was a sense of urgency and just a sense of relief that what they had done, the work that they had done to put in these levees, coastal storm levees, had worked. And the escort that took me back from the conference room to the helicopter for the overflight, he said, I used to wonder why I was paying this levee tax. I don't wonder that anymore. Levees work. Levees work. And it was just a powerful message, and one many of you are shaking your head, and one that I've come to learn, not growing up along the Mississippi River. I grew up in Akron, Ohio, more familiar with the Great Lakes. But in the past 3 years, y'all have taught me so much about this river, so much about the culture, so much about the resilience. And I'm just so proud to be part of Team Mississippi now in this role. Next slide. So this is your U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and this is our map. I am one of 9 division commanders, general officers, that are assigned around watersheds. So our boundaries are not bounded by states, which is pretty unique. We do have a military construction mission that follows state lines, but ours transcend. And as you see on the slide, I can't quite see this slide, I believe it's blue. Is it blue? That is your Mississippi River Division. And just like this organization is united by the river, so is my mission and what we do together. And that's just something special about our role and our common vision that we share. And if you look on the side of that slide, it says the number 1. So I also like to say, and I shared earlier today, we are the most valuable division because we are the only U.S. Army Corps of Engineer division solely focused on civil works. So we do a little bit of work for others. We have some work we do in support of the military program, but primarily we are the Civil Works Center of Excellence, and our job is to put projects and deliver projects and analysis for this basin, solely focused, and it's one we're really proud of. Next slide. So this is our team. This represents just some of the leaders on the, let's see, I'm a little back. Okay, on the right-hand side of this slide are the commanders. So I'm responsible for the Mississippi Valley Division, and in that division we have 6 Army brigades, if you think of it that way, that are aligned in many of your towns. So we start up at the headwaters in St. Paul District, and we flow through Vicksburg District all the way to New Orleans. And you can see the commanders responsible. Next to each of the commanders is a senior civilian. Pat Hemphill is here today from the Vicksburg District. And the senior civilians provide these organizations of technical experts the continuity that we need as we rotate as commanders, 2 to 3 years in our roles. If you go to the right-hand side, right-hand side of the slide, you'll see my second responsibility. It's as president of the Mississippi River Commission. And these are presidentially appointed positions, and our mandate dates back to 1879. I understand you went to Bemidji in your last, I'm sorry to miss that, but at the headwaters you'll see some survey marks, and those were placed by our forefathers in the Corps of Engineers and on the Mississippi River Commission as they were advancing the work of the river, understanding the river, and making it navigable for America. That was a start, just fascinating. Tonight with us we have Dr. Miller. Where are you, Dr. Miller? One of our commissioners with us today. He's also from the state of Louisiana and an instructor at University of Louisiana Lafayette. So he brings with him, he's a civil engineer, one of 2 civil engineers that are mandated on the commission, a unique perspective. He is describing, he's grown up in this area. He's not only teaching, but he's also sharing his experiences to the commission in a unique way that you couldn't get if it was only military focused. So it's a genius. It's been this way since 1879 with 3 military officers, 3 civilians, 2 civil engineers. 1 is a farmer and a businessman, and then 1 representative from NOAA that brings in the charting, the weather, and all those things that you think, as you would know, would be critical to the Valley. At the bottom of the slide are 2 senior executives. They're named Mr. Jim Beaudron. I think you probably, many of you know him very well, and Dr. Fleming. She's our business director. They're my right and left hand, so they're the technical experts that have also grown up in this with decades, 30 plus years of experience in water-related resource management, and they provide advice and direction to get things done. Next slide. So tonight, really, my message is about this advantage that we all have, and it's one we were talking about in small group here. It's a responsibility that every time I say that I'm responsible in part for this Mississippi River and the basin that drains 41% of the states, everyone says, wow. And I said, yeah, wow, it's amazing. And that's what I say to each one in this room, because I am just in awe of what you do every day, representing the communities and the people and everything that we're mandated to work together to protect. And so it's our advantage, it's America's advantage. Some folks say we're lucky. I would say we're blessed, and we respect very, very much our ancestors that have put us in this position that we are today, and the advantage that we have in feeding the rest of the world, in being the global expert in water resource management, and where we've come together. Next. And no stranger to the geographic advantage is the challenge that we work together. And many of you have stories that I can't even comprehend. You've lived next to this river. You've built levees. You've built sandbags. You fish You do all the activities along the river, and what we are doing in the Corps of Engineers is managing this 41% in a way that has been designed through the generations to the best benefit, collective benefit for all. If you look on the right-hand side of the slide, you'll see the fluctuations and the dynamic nature of the river. And we are dealing with our third year of low water and drought. But just in 2019, we were seeing, and y'all were faced with the flood of a lifetime. And on the backs of 2011 flood, and on and on. So we just listed some of those. It's just that dynamic nature that not only we're dealing with today, but we'll be faced with into the future. Next. So I wanted to highlight the chain of command in the military as it relates to civil works is very flat. So it goes from the brigade commander, Colonel Gibson, to myself as the division commander, and then I report to the chief of engineers in Washington, D.C. That recently position was changed, and General Spellman retired, and our new chief is General Graham. Butch Graham is no stranger to civil works and our missions here. And then we report through the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, Mr. Connor. Mr. Connor has visited many of you. Anyone raise your hand who have met Mr. Connor out on your sites? I see he's been part of a lot of events. And so our Assistant Secretary is engaged. He is asking about what your priorities are, what are the priorities and issues locally. And as you look through the priorities on the screen, I think they align very well with the topics that you all are talking about talked about today and over the next 2 days. It's about navigation, it's about resiliency, it's about working together to use the American taxpayer and our dollar to the very best it can be, and to make programs and policies that make sense for big projects like Lock and Dam 25 and the replacement, and small projects that impact you, like environmental infrastructure programs and different types of CAP programs that the Corps has, planning assistance to states where you can take advantage of the expertise that we have there, and we can work together on finding solutions. Next slide. That's a low water. Low water. So I asked Mayor Flags, yes, we're going to have tin cans so that we can talk to one another, but our buildings are right across the street from each other. And I asked you, Mayor, a couple days ago what was on your mind, and low water was on the top of his mind. And just wanted to relay that our focus as a Corps of Engineers is on mitigating low water to the very best that we can. And we talked about that today at the National Waterways Conference. Some ways that we do that are engineering of the river. So these are the dikes, things that you can't see typically from the river bank, that is training the river to dredge itself, to get deeper over time in the way that they're placed and where they are. We also are involved in proactive dredging. So we're seeing this. We have water management experts throughout the basin in each of the districts, but also watching all the tributaries every single day. That's where those gauge readings are coming. And we are monitoring that, working with TVA, with the Ohio River on releases of the Kentucky Barkley reservoirs as much as we can to provide the flow that we need. As it passes through here, one other note, especially in Louisiana, is the saltwater intrusion issue. And so just that's a very serious issue, and that we're aware of and we're very focused on. I actually send a situational report up to both the Chief of Engineers and to Assistant Secretary Connor once a week on where we are with low water and the location of the saltwater wedge and what activities we are doing to be able to mitigate impacts to communities. We talked about that in detail today. I'd be open if there's further dialogue you'd like to see, but I really want to just share is the success of anything I've talked about today, and especially in low water, is about communication and partnership. And so I hope when I put up that face chart with all the district commanders, all of you said, that's my commander, like Mayor Flaggs did. Because it's the districts and those district commanders and those district technical experts that are where the rubber meets the road, and where we have the expectation, I have the responsibility to make sure that they're engaged with you and that they are present to talk about the issues that are most relevant on your mind. And what do you need? What are you seeing? And be able to translate that so your voice is first and foremost on Mr. Connor's mind as he's making policy and he's talking to the White House and he's talking with congressional members and the administration on both policies and appropriations that are needed for this incredible system. So last slide. So tonight, really, this is my message. It's a thank you. It's a thank you for your partnership. I served as a garrison commander before my assignment as a division commander in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So as a garrison commander, it was part mayor, part city manager, part coordinator, right? I was responsible for emergency services and public works and those things. I did that job for 2 different garrisons over a period of 5 years. And the respect that I have for you in this room is just so immense. I get thanked all the time as I'm going through an airport for my service, especially when I'm in uniform. This valley is so patriotic, and everyone is so kind to us, especially when Army played LSU. I was talking about my son and my husband and I came down for the game. And I just, although it wasn't much of a game, it was an incredible showcase of the people in this valley, the hospitality, the pride, and the public service everywhere. And that's what you represent. You are public servants. You are not paid enough for the job that you've done. You're not thanked enough for the role that you play. And so I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Department of the Army. Thanks for what you do each and every day. Thank you for your service. And thank you for your partnership and continuing the dialogue. I know many of you in this room, but I would like to know each and every one of you moving forward and make sure that I can carry the story. We need to tell our story. And we talked about how we can tell the story through murals. There's many of you that have beautiful pictures, poetry, arts, tourism. We have visitor centers. We want to showcase what is special about this basin. It's a story that has not, there are books written, but we just all need to tell this story more. We did create a video that I'll make sure that you get that talks about how the water works, because I have that funnel slide, but it really doesn't get to the complexity. That actually simplifies the system, right? It's meant to show the power, but it is such a complex system of systems that's dynamic and ever-changing, and one that I think if we understand collectively even better at every level, and you help us to see it from the shores of the Mississippi River as you do, we will be able to retain that geographical advantage that so many have fought for before us. So I want to thank you again for inviting me here tonight. And I'm going to have an opportunity to spend the next couple days, tomorrow morning with you until our time at the River Center. So if we haven't met, just please come, introduce yourself, and let's talk. I'd like to know what's on your mind so that together I can be part of your solution. That's all I have. Thank you so much.